Hey, my guy from the hometown, bro, Nelly, he came out and said something, bro. And I wanted to ask y'all this because we all listen to hip hop before. We still listen to hip hop. It's the greatest genre of music right now out. And Nelly came out and he gave some remarks about his era. And when he was doing his thing in the early 2000s, that's when Nelly was the hottest. But Nelly came out and gave a comment, and I want to kind of ask y'all and get y'all opinion on it. He said, and this is quote for quote, this is Nelly. He said, "My era of music was the toughest era of hip hop ever. Ever." He said, "When I put out songs, I had to go against DMX, Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda. All of us was fighting for the number one spot." So I wanted to ask y'all, was that era of hip hop right then and there, that early 2000s, 2004, 2005 era of hip hop, was that the greatest era of hip hop that we've seen as far as competition wise, and how many great artists was out at one time? What do y'all think on that? Because I will say this though, it was an era of music where it was a shift, where album sales was still huge. People were having to buy albums. The MP3 player just was not coming out. The iPod wasn't out quite yet. People wasn't on to it. So at that time, bruh, album sales were ridiculous. Dudes were going diamond, 10 million album sales. It wasn't no streaming. Cassette tapes wasn't out. Everybody had a CD player pretty much. In music, LimeWire was just now hitting the scene because that really, you know what I'm saying? LimeWire.
That's streaming today. That's just streaming today.
But yeah, man, that streaming today is what LimeWire was, because I showed had about 150 burnt CDs from LimeWire for show, with all type of music on it. I was the king of that. CD definitely my thing, and I make you a CD and I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing is, this era of music that Nelly's talking about, was it the most competitive era of hip hop we've seen? Because Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, like he said, man, Eminem, DMX, them are some heavy hitters, man. Those are some top 20 artists of all time. What do you think? What you think on that, Meech? I'm gonna start with Meech on this one.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely. Because like I said, YouTube wasn't out by then. Big Soldier wasn't out. Big Soldier put everybody on YouTube. Big Draco. But no, like you said, people had to go stand in line and get CDs and things like man. That. Like, and you talk about Wayne in the 2000s.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Nelly in the 2000s. Oh my, like, yeah. I think people's attention span was Ja Rule's, all of them, bro. The Aaliyahs, the R. Kellys, all of them people, man. I think it was harder to catch people's attention back then because there wasn't no reels and you can share this and share that. Like you gotta go hear it for yourself.
You do.
You gotta be on 106 and Park top 10. Like you ain't on that. You ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that.
I'm thinking, man, will we ever see that again? I don't think you'll ever see that again, just because the way in the landscape is of how people can consume music. You can consume music in so many different ways now. It's so hard, man. You got YouTube, you got Apple Music, you got Spotify, you got all these different ways that you can get music, man. And people are putting out music so fast, it's kind of hard for people to stay on one thing, because as soon as one thing come out, something else is coming out. You got 50 albums coming out one day on Apple Music.
Every song is a TikTok song now, so
TikTok
it ain't easy to get people attention now.
Man, it's so hard, bro. It's so hard, and it's great for the artists, especially for the artists that are trying to break their music or get themselves out there. Like a guy like Dante, who has Cardinal Rule Entertainment. This is the best time to break artists because it's so many different ways to consume music, and so many people are listening to music. But in that time, in that era, the competition level with Luda and all them dudes was just huge. So what you think on that, George?
You know what? I agree, man. You gotta remember, even Jay said it in the early 90s, late 99, 2000s. DMX came out with 2 CDs in the same year, and they both went number 1, right? You know what I mean? And so Jay was out. You got to remember, you got Jeezy. He came out in late 2000s.
Oh yeah, Jeezy was on his run through.
And I think what Nelly said was an honest to God truth, because again, it was so many people vying for that spot. Like y'all said, we had to physically go to the record stores and buy these CDs, right? Because units was something remarkable. And so a lot of people want to hate because, again, the early 90s was kind of fun hip hop. The mid 90s, it started in the gangster, Tupac, Biggie, and all that type of stuff. Then they unfortunately passed away. So the late 90s, it did have a shift, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So now you got all these guys who can really spit bars wanting the number one spot. And so people hate because Nelly came from the Midwest, but Nelly put on. And Nelly said something I was telling my wife a while back in one of them songs, man. Nelly, truth be told, was the only person to me that I can think of in hip hop history who came out with no setups, no guest appearances, no nothing, and went diamond off the flip. Who has ever done that? Real talk, right?
Yeah.
Who has ever done that? Now, prior to, he could have been on a CD or a feature or something. It was nothing, right? And so now he's in the history of it, right? You don't gotta think he's one of the best spitters, but he was in the most competitive era, and he held his own along with the other guys. And now this generation, this genre of rap is trash. But I do think he had the most competitive.
It's different. And here's the thing, bro. In that era in time, bro, that's when hip hop artists were becoming really superstars.
Yeah,
it was very lucrative. They were actually, becoming entrepreneurs.
They were getting shoe deals, right? And Rocket Word, G shoes, and the S.I. Carters, all that.
Everybody had brand, and it was hip hop was huge. You know what I'm saying? It was becoming a cultural phenomenon because the dudes in the 90s, they was big, but they wasn't really making no money like that. No. When them early 2000s came, he really changed the game, bro, and gave people the blueprint on how to really make money like that. But it really changed the game.
The best person to do that, bro, was Master P and No Limit. Like he shifted the whole culture how he did it.
Oh yeah.
Do y'all remember?
Master P gave
everything. Master P used to drop a whole CD every Tuesday. He dropped 21 albums in a year. He was dropping. I'm like P. I can't keep up.
That might be the only person that compete with Gucci. Oh, well, Lil Wayne up there too.
I'm serious.
Master P,
No Limit,
and Wayne,
them three dudes jokers out.
Them three dudes put out so much music. It don't make no sense.
Kane and Abel. Kane and Abel.
Hey, listen. My favorite one of my favorite No Limit artists is Young Bleed. His album.
Yeah, Young Bleed. I didn't do that
down.
He put people on, bro. Like for real.
He was pushing them out. Everybody was on everybody's album, so it was all like a huge month compilation, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he owned all his masters. He owned all that. Yeah, go ahead. My bad. That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all good. So look, this is my opinion. Now I think it's more. I get what Nelly's saying, but I think it's more competitive now. And the reason being is that you can't put people in front of everybody's eyes the same way you used to back then.
Oh yeah, it was only 106 in Park or TRL back then.
Exactly. So it's like, all right, at the very least, a record label can crown a champion.
Right.
Nowadays, record labels, you can't even really crown a champion. So it's like, all right, well, how do you know what's what? Like, for instance, do any of y'all on here know Boss Man D-Lo?
I think I heard of that. The dude that got that new song out, that everybody playing with the hibachi.
Yeah, that's
how I go.
Yeah, everybody in my job playing it. Hibachi.
He on the 5th floor, eat hibachi.
Hibachi.
Yo, I heard it for the first time back in St. Louis. I'm like, what is this?
Now listen. That's the thing, right? The fact that it's like you can't even necessarily say you know who he is. He one of the artists that's just now coming up, but I like he tough.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that it's so many artists that come out to where it's like, all right, I might know who he is, I might not know who he is.
It means you ain't really missing nothing, though, bro.
Listen.
Yes, so those artists who coming out, do they have any content, right? So like, it's repetitive, right? So old boy got this song, "Babe, I know you fine, don't you? Babe, I know you fine." He's not saying nothing. He's repeating the same phrase.
It just
depends. No, you right. It's not necessarily about the content because there's artists out here who do have content. It's just
them not the ones that's really blowing up.
They're not blowing up. Exactly.
They don't want to listen to that no more. I'm being honest, George. Like my era of music is kind of past. Like I'm a J. Cole.
Like you can't force it. You can't force like people
Drake,
to listen.
Drake kind of conformed to the new style too.
He's moving over.
He moves over. Drake guy. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm a Cole guy. Everybody know I love Cole. And it's like
Cole.
You know, it's just not that type. No, these dudes want that street music, or they want to. I mean, really, it's a lot of bashing. You either female bashing or you male bashing. It's a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Or you trying to get over on somebody, or I mean, right now the music really don't have no meaning to it, bro. You know, I mean, it don't have nothing to me. That's why I really don't listen to it no more. You know, I want you to have a message. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna be spitting, bro, spit some stuff where I gotta think. You know what I'm saying? Make me think. Right. Like, you know, give some real bars. But you know, the generation, I think we just getting older. I think that's really what it is. Like we 10 years. Like you got to think about it, bro. Like we out there now. Like these 20-year-olds, these 18, 19-year-olds, they on some different type of stuff than we are. I'm just being honest. So yeah, I mean, this is their time and this is their era. But I did want to ask another one. Tune in to the Mike to Mike podcast every week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks, and like always, see y'all next week.